Death. Extinction. It's estimated that 99.9% of all species that have ever existed on Earth are now gone. There are just so many things that could go wrong. Weather, meteors, disease, competition, and the list goes on. It makes you wonder, how have we survived for so long? The answer probably lies in our brains. We've been able to innovate and create our way to survival. But the truth is, the sun, or at least high noon, sets on every species. So the question remains, when will we all just cease to exist? Or at least when will most of our species die out? It's hard to know, but there are many opinions on the issue, and today we'll look at some of the most interesting. One of the first ideas is really just speculation. Some think that someday we'll be discovered by an alien civilization who wants to take our resources or enslave us or kill us and inhabit the planet. I mean, sure, it's possible, but as likely as it seems, we just don't know if there's anyone else out there. In the dark expanse of space. I'm awake, but this thing is pretty mesmerizing, isn't it? Anyway, we just don't know much on this topic, so let's move on. This is the one that everyone loves to quote. Yep, I'm talking about nukes. Nuclear arms are some of the most destructive weapons known to man. The largest nuclear test series stood at 50,000 kilotons. Wait, let me make that understandable. Alright, add together, carry the one, that's over 110 billion pounds with a B. That kind of weapon could kill hundreds of thousands of people in one take if placed well. It would give people multiple cities away fatal burns and would evaporate parts of huge lakes. Alright, so imagine that. Now, imagine that we had thousands of these weapons of mass destruction just sitting around in stores all over the world, and that they could be fired in a moment's notice, and that they could be deployed by mistake, and they have been deployed by mistake, and that these weapons are in the hands of unstable regimes. Well, you just guessed it, because all of those are true. There are about 15,000 warheads on Earth. North Korea has 13 of them, and the US almost nuked itself in 1950, 1958, 1961, 1966, 1979, and 2007. Yup, that happened. So considering all the risk and political tension, it's not unreasonable to think that we might one day commit near species-wide suicide. But what would we be fighting over? Well, the most obvious answer is resources. Fossil fuels on which we so heavily depend are of course finite. Our fossil fuel deposits are shown by many studies to probably last until the end of the century, but then what? How will we make it without renewable sources like solar and wind? What if they're too expensive? I guess we'll all just fall into pointless squabbling. But the thing is, we won't be fighting over gas or oil or land or even gold. We'll be fighting over our most precious resource, water. It's liquid gold. And with continuing pollution and population growth, half of the world, or at that time a staggering 4.25 billion people, will live in areas where water is constantly a problem. Where will all this fresh water come from? Unfortunately, this is a problem left to be solved by a younger generation, and if you're watching this, that probably means you. Let's take another route. Sometimes the sun releases large fiery magnetic storms called coronal mass ejections, or CMEs. If conditions are right, or rather wrong, they have the power to knock out or set all electronics on Earth on fire. Yes, on fire. We know this because one happened in the Carrington event in 1859. Luckily, the main electronics around were a handful of telegraphs. Imagine what a CME like that could do today, with all our tech reliance. There's a 12% chance that one of these CMEs will occur by 2022, and it could take 4 to 10 years just for the planet to make a lackluster recovery. So, sleep tight. But, seriously, maybe we will all die. I mean, Stephen Hawking says we only have 100 years left on Earth. So maybe our best chance is Exodus. Maybe we have to leave to survive. NASA says that for the low price of $10 billion, we could have a moon colony by 2022. Sounds pretty cool. And they also say that we could have a Mars colony by 2030, which is already in planning. These colonies could grow their own crops, make their own air and water, harvest their own electricity, and so they could possibly survive if something happened back on Earth. but considering that we've never actually stepped foot on Mars, I don't know. Additionally, we'll also have to leave the solar system and say goodbye to our good old sun to find a new star. The sun will eventually reach the end of its lifespan, and then it will expand to swallow all of the inner planets in an inferno, and all the others are just gas, so we can't live there. That'll happen in about 7.6 billion years, so the clock's ticking. But who am I kidding? We'll all be dead by then. Hey guys, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, link in the description. Why not watch another video here? No? Come on. You know you want to. Come on, click it. Alright, see ya.